Hello there guys, what's going on? It's Tico here, bringing you guys a video discussion on Dragon Ball Z Infinite World. So this video is in response to actually a few comments I've gotten regarding the tier list and which characters are the best characters in Dragon Ball Z Infinite World. Actually, one of the latest video I uploaded of Infinite World, actually one of the subscribers that actually comments on a lot of my videos for Dragon Ball Z was mentioning specifically on that topic. So I figured I would really clear it up. For the people that still play games like Budokai 3 and Infinite World, it's pretty important to know exactly what makes a character better than other characters. You know, these games are not based that much on the show; they're based more on the game itself. So you got to figure out which characters got what strengths and which characters got what weaknesses. And some characters, the characters that got almost virtually no weaknesses whatsoever, are by far the best characters in the game. So I will begin with the discussion going over the first. I will probably discuss a few characters in this video and just provide the list in the description. So if you guys just want to read the list of the best characters in the game, this list has been compiled by me. It's been updated from the last list that I saw in the forums when all the guys I used to talk about Dragon Ball Z Infinite World and Budokai 3. I updated it with my own experience of the characters since I've been playing around with the game for a while since the last update of the list. So if you want to check out the list, it's in the description of the video. Otherwise, let's get on with the topic. So the best character, best character, and you will probably laugh when you realize who the best character in this game is, or one of the top 5 to 6 tier characters in the game is Yamcha. Now you might think that because Yamcha is the weakest character in the show by far, he's weaker than Krillin, Tien, you know, he's weaker than everybody. I mean, he quit fighting altogether because he was so weak and he couldn't really help out at all. But in this game, in Dragon Ball Z Infinite World, Yamcha is one of the top 5 to 6 tier characters in the game. The reason being, Yamcha has the highest priority in punches in the whole game. If you just tap punch square the whole time while you are playing with Yamcha, and you're in a close quarters fight with your opponent, and you just keep tapping square and canceling at the end of the square, and you just keep clicking square over and over and over again, the opponent has no choice but to guard. There is nothing at all, nothing whatsoever the opponent can do once Yamcha gets in close quarters and starts spamming his regular punch cancel. Regular just tapping square and then canceling it non-stop is the best tool that Yamcha has in this game. He has 100% priority over every single other close quarter attack in the game. This means that no matter which other character tries to hit you, your punches will always go through their hits if you're in close quarters, and you will always land your hits no matter what. No matter what happens, it will go through the enemy's punches. If two players that are using Yamcha are both fighting against each other and they're both spamming square non-stop and canceling it non-stop, both characters will not receive any damage whatsoever, more like 99% of the time, because both attacks will cancel each other out. Both punches from both characters and both players will cancel each other out. That's how much priority and how much invincibility frames Yamcha has with his regular punches. The downside to Yamcha is that he's one of the characters with the weakest damage in the game. So even though he has the highest priority in close quarter through his punches, all his other attacks are very meh. But that's why it makes him balanced, because he's a top tier, but that does not mean that he's invincible because of his invincibility frames whenever it comes to his punches. But because his punches got such invincibility frames on them, that makes him one of the top tier characters in the game, even if his damage and his other attacks are very average or low. So moving on to another character that's also top tier, then you guys might not think it's also top tier. This character is Dabura. Dabura is the one counter, the one complete counter that Yamcha has in this game. Now Yamcha, as I mentioned, Yamcha has a punch that goes through everything. But Dabura has a spear move. Dabura is the one character that can actually use spears and sword in this game in a way that counteracts Yamcha. Because Yamcha is a character that's required to be up close to do damage. But his attacks will go to pretty much every physical hit. Dabura is the only other character that has physical hits embedded into his attacks that shoot the spear outward, so he has more reach with his spear than Yamcha has with his punches. So even though Yamcha has more priority over any other physical move that's up close, the spear does not count as a regular physical move, and it will actually go through Yamcha's attack. So it's actually able to counter Yamcha's invincibility frames with his punches. And against any other character, the fact that he can use his spear to lunge forward and you hit the opponent while they're like 10 feet away, That fact means that he's actually one of the few characters that can keep the enemy at bay while keeping them at a distance, while still being able to do damage. He is also able to combo from his regular spear move, which is back square square triangle. That's the main one he uses. Back square square triangle is the main cancel that he uses to use the spear, I believe. And you can cancel from that one and go into a regular combo. So if you go through the opponent's hits and you connect with the spear, you can cancel right away at the end of the triangle and go into a combo. He also is the only character that by pressing forward R2 or forward P plus K, forward punch plus triangle, you can actually go ahead and throw the spear from far away. This actually makes it cool because normally in this game, if you spam like throwing regular ki blasts to like make the opponent flinch by just throwing ki blasts at them, the Bora is the only other character that can actually get a projectile. He can actually throw his spear at you, and his spear will go through regular ki blasts. So if the opponent is spamming regular ki blasts to make you flinch and to be able to get you in a combo real quick, or make you like launch in the air, from being put airborne, from being caught off guard by that ki blast, the Bora is the one character that can throw his spear and go through those ki blasts. So this is the one character that can pretty much counter every single gimmicky mechanic in this game. The other two characters that are top tier are of course the main character in the game. The main character in the game is of course Goku, which you see on the last side over there, and the other one being Goku GT. Goku GT and Goku both got that move where they launch forward. It's like an elbow move where they get back and then they launch forward at the opponent. That move allows you to get really close to your opponent really fast. It has invincibility frames while you're doing it, and it has a very fast starter, so it can pretty much connect you into any combo. He also has the Dragon Fist, which is one of the few infinites in this game, which is not damage scaled, even though it requires 2 bars of Ki energy, energy to perform. But that makes him one of the best characters in the game. He also has 4 transformations, or 4 or 5 transformations in the case of regular Goku, and 2 transformations in the case of Goku GT. Even though they both max out at Super Saiyan 4, and at that point, their damage skyrockets to 140% their base, while still being able to do the 10 times Kamehameha and a more powered up, 40% stronger, Super Dragon Fist death move. The next character that's also top tier is Pikkon, which I actually mentioned whenever I did his tutorial, the Art of Pikkon tutorial video. He's just a character that's just overall broken. I mean, he has attacks that can mid combo. He has attacks that can take away your guard. He has attacks with invincibility frames. His death moves are really damaging. They're the Hyper Tornado cannot be teleported against. The what do you call it? The one where he becomes like fire and it kicks you away with the fire. If you do, that's a physical death move. So if you actually do that one from the opponent's back, it would actually do an extra 25% more damage. So that becomes even greater. So I mean, just overall, Pikkon is just an unstoppable creature in this game. He also has 4 baseline energy, so he's one of the characters that start with over 3. His damage is pretty high. He has a triangle punch, triangle KPK, KPK cancel, which can catch the opponents off guard. He has his regular R2, which can break guard, and also anti-TC, anti-teleport counter. This is a character that's just a monster. He's a character that's all around good in every single area. The other character that's also top tier is the last character that is top tier in this game is, and this is a character that actually initially he was one of the upper tier characters, is not exactly quite top tier. He's a character that's Vegeta GT. Vegeta GT is the only other character that has moves very similar to Goku in this game. He has a move that can launch forward, just like Goku can launch forward with his elbow move. He can cancel from that one. He's one of the characters with the lowest damage in the game, but because he has the lowest damage in the game, once he gets to the transformation, it just becomes like a completely different character. His regular R2 cancel, just regular holding R2 and canceling it, has 100% invincibility frames. So if you're fighting against Yamcha, it becomes like a wall. If you just keep canceling R2 non-stop, and you just keep doing the P plus K cancel non-stop against Yamcha's punch, it's actually one of the characters that Yamcha cannot go through. Even though you cannot combo off it, against Yamcha, it becomes like an invincible wall that the opponent cannot overcome. This also becomes able because it's somewhat of a fast cancel. If the opponent teleports while you're spamming R2 cancel, which actually there's a video that there was Yamcha versus Goku, I believe, in the past, where I was playing with GT, no, not Yamcha versus Goku, it was GT Vegeta, me playing GT Vegeta against Goku, who was playing Rambe 04, where my friend was playing this, and he plays pretty well with Goku. I pretty much just kept doing that non-stop. He couldn't beat me because just the moment that he lets down his guard, even for a split second, I can catch him from R2 cancel and go into my infinite, which he has a few infinites similar to Goku. He has a triangle infinite by just tapping triangle, even though he's a little bit quicker. But you do got to do it a little bit quicker. But if you do it too fast, it falls over. So you got to get the right speed. He has that launch forward. He has the regular R2. He has invincibility frames. Once he becomes a Super Saiyan 4, his damage skyrockets. He's just an incredible character. And his cancels are all very fast. Almost all his cancels anti-TC can catch the opponent when they do a regular teleport counter. So he's one of those characters that's it's just up there. It's just up there. And initially, because of his low damage, and because of how tricky his combos his frames for canceling used to be, I thought that he would only be upper tier, but once you really get used to using the character, he becomes an unstoppable force, just like the other top tiers. That's why, to me, in my opinion, he is a top tier character. Next, we go to upper high tier character, the second tier characters in the game. Characters like the Janemba, he starts with 6 lines, 6 bars of energy. His regular death move, death move where he launches he shoots a projectile of green energy at you. He's the second move that's fastest in the game, second only to Piccolo's special beam cannon, which is Piccolo's ultimate. But Janemba, he can usually use that, and the opponent will almost never have a chance unless they're ready to block it right away before you even decide to do it. There will be no chance for them to dodge that move. He also has his other death move, which is a sword death move, where he can do from behind. It's just a physical death move for him. He can do more damage with. Like I said, he has a 6 baseline energy. He has some invincibility frames. His regular R2 cancel, it makes him bring out his sword. So if you hold R2, it makes him bring out his sword. If you cancel that really fast, it gives you somewhat of a 80 to 90% invincibility frame. But you got to know how to do it exactly right. So it can actually counteract some characters that got high invincibility frames and priority in their attacks, like Goku or GT Vegeta. Like I said, he's a great character. His death move, the Hell's Gate health death move, cannot be countered against. It does exactly 1500 damage every single time and lets you power it up even more with some capsules. So it's just a character that becomes really good. Syn Shenron or Omega Shenron, once transformed, he's also an upper high tier character, a second tier character. This character in Budokai 3, Omega Shenron in Budokai 3, was a top tier character, but in Infinite World he is weaker because he does not have a transformation. He starts out, he has a transformation instead of just starting out fully transformed. He starts out as Syn Shenron, but once he transforms, he becomes Omega Shenron. He starts out with 6 baseline energy. Once he transforms, he becomes 7 baseline energy. So he becomes max energy once transformed. So his downside from here, stopping him from being top tier, is that he cannot transform right away. Kind of like Vegeta. Once you get the Vegeta fusion, he starts out with 6, and you gotta get to full energy of 7 to be able to do his transformation. Then if you get fatigued, he loses his transformation. He's one of the characters that actually loses his transformation in the game. So even though he's an upper high tier character, if you do take him out, make him go into fatigue mode, he will lose his Omega Shenron transformation to revert back to Syn Shenron. While he is Syn Shenron, his damage is very average. He has no death moves. He doesn't have the Dragon Thunder. He doesn't have the Whirlwind Spin. He doesn't have his ultimate move. He has nothing. He's bare bones combo oriented character with average damage. But once he gets max energy and he transforms to Omega Shenron, he becomes a force to be reckoned with. He can do 4 Dragon Thunder moves in one combo if you know how to do it right. He can do 4 of them in a row. So he's able to do 2000 plus damage, 2 bars or more health damage easily if you do 4 Dragon Thunders. And the Dragon Thunder in this game, as opposed to Budokai 3, only costs 1 bar of energy because they made him weaker, because in this game he starts out not being transformed. But since once he does transform, he can only do it with 1 bar of energy. Combined with his Whirlwind Spin and the fact that he can now combo from any of those things into his infinite as well, combined with the fact that his damage skyrockets even more, he just becomes an unstoppable force. The fact that he starts out without being transformed makes him upper tier. But if in this game he started out with all the moves he has while he's Omega Shenron and he didn't lose his transformation, he would be a top tier character in my opinion. Next up, we got characters like Cell, for example. Cell still has his jab, his little jab that can catch opponents when they teleport. That is just great. He still has his energy field, which can counter opponents' being able to teleport from it. We also go to characters like Tien Gohan and also Gohan. Both characters, Tien Gohan and Gohan, both of these characters are characters that they can do like a whole lot of damage with a regular SDS, Soaring Dragon Strike Infinite. They can transform pretty easily, of course, they're Super Saiyans, and once they get the Soaring Dragon Strike Infinites, they both got infinites. They both got super moves that, ultimate moves that can just do a ton of damage. They can combo pretty well from anything. They both got infinites. They're just solid all-around characters with good transformations, good baseline, good key baselines once transformed. Really good damage if you get to your highest transformation and use your Soaring Dragon Strike, your SDS cancel from the back. It'll easily do 2,000, 3,000 damage if you can do it a few times in a row while being fully transformed. It is not uncommon for Teen Gohan or Adult Gohan, if you get them all the way transformed and do their SDS death move back circle. If you do that like 3-4 times in a row, it is not uncommon for them to do 2.5 bars of health damage to the opponent if they're doing the attacks from the back, because they're considered death moves that are physical moves, so they do a ton more damage from the back, like 25% more damage from the back. So, going into all this, everything I've mentioned, hopefully that kind of clears up a little bit what goes into making one character better than others. That's pretty much all I really wanted to say. Like I said, check the description, it goes over everything that I talked about, for all the characters, the top tier characters that I talked about, top tier and upper tier characters. The rest of the characters are listed there below, and you probably wonder why some characters are weaker than others, yeah, but the matter of fact is, when it comes to like this Dragon Ball Z Budokai game and Infinite World and such, Budokai 3, it doesn't matter what the show is about, it doesn't matter how high the energy baseline of the character is. Characters that got low baseline energy, like Yamcha, is a top tier character in this game. So that goes to show the fact that you can't really judge a book by its cover, especially when it comes to Budokai games, because you'll be completely outclassed by a person that knows which character is better and who's not. So thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for listening, and I will catch you guys later.